That's what we do to shut down a faulty prosecution. That's what we do to shut down a system of justice that wants to be exploited by these same anarchists. And that's what they're doing.
Wow. So there you go. We're anarchists, guys. Me, retired Green Beret, served the nation, 10 years in Army Special Forces, went and fought the wars. I'm an anarchist because your story about a 30-06 not blowing Charlie Kirk's head off doesn't make sense. A judge has no privilege to prevent parties from communicating, which is granted by the First Amendment. So the only thing you'll be gagging is on our collective YouTube dicks. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and in a wild turn of events, FBI Director Kash Patel has come out swinging against content creators and YouTubers like myself who've had the audacity to question the FBI's official narrative in the Charlie Kirk case and calling us evil conspiracy theorists, anarchists, bad faith actors, and saying we're going to ruin Charlie Kirk's family's lives and we're going to cost the prosecution its case. Wow. Bold words from a guy who used to be a podcaster whose show was just pushing conspiracy theories. Odd. But that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. There's also a new gag order being placed on everybody, I guess, that no one's allowed to talk about this case. We'll see about that. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Let's jump into this thing and see what old Kash had to say. Now, I first saw this over on I Am Coach Colin's YouTube channel. Great YouTube channel. If you haven't seen him, go check him out. We're going to watch that. And yeah, let's go through what old Layaway Patel.
Kash Patel and what he's now saying about these rogue people who are not doing a service to anybody. Listen to this.
I think that the militant trans issue really became familiar to the American people last month when Charlie Kirk was killed. I mean, you guys at breakneck speed found this guy, you identified him, you profiled the type of person that he would be, and that's incredible.
Friendly reminder, no, they fucking didn't. Kash Patel keeps telling you, the FBI found him in 38 hours. No, you fucking didn't. His dad's friend recognized him and convinced Tyler to turn himself in. Stop saying that. You didn't find shit.
Incredible. Is there more evidence that you guys can offer to people, maybe video from that roof? Do you expect that there will be more to be released?
I think the best thing we can do for Charlie, especially me as FBI director and our team, is to prosecute this case in the courts of law, wherever it is, in Utah, in the state of court of law. And what we're going to do is what we've done. Give them every piece of evidence we collect. Our cellular analysis systems are the best in the world, and that's what the FBI does, and that's what we flew in and did. That's how we led the manhunt and got him in 33 short hours. And every single piece...
No, you didn't. He turned himself in, thanks to a family friend.
Piece of video or forensic evidence or witness interview, we've done dozens and dozens, gone on these platforms, found every single person, all of that material. And I know this is frustrating to the public and I understand it, but I'm not going to allow the Charlie Kirk prosecution to be dismantled because we want to get over our skis in public.
That's exactly what you did, buddy, multiple times. Do you forget when you did this on the first day, right when he was shot? You forget about this one, bro? Subject of the horrific shooting today took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Oh, and then he was in custody. We got him. Oh, and then we had somebody else in custody. Oh, turns out it's just an old man with a pellet rifle. We don't got him. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure all you've done is get out ahead of your skis. But now, of course, you don't want to release anything more. Got it.
Is there any possibility that other people were involved? When you talked at the White House, I sort of got a little inkling that maybe you're looking at other people. We're
looking at everyone that was there, that was online, and we're looking to refer these matters to the state prosecution authorities when there's enough evidence. But the reality is, again, with social media, when you have hysterical conspiracy theories filling the void, you're harming Charlie and his family and a rightful prosecution.
Okay, let's break that down because that's obviously total bullshit. First of all of these conspiracy theories are because of you. You, the FBI. Why? Oh, I don't know, because you told us that a 30-06 was used and there's no exit wound. And, well, there's a video of Tyler Robinson walking with the gun in his pants when he very clearly doesn't have a gun in his pants. And, again, you thought you had the right shooter, and then you didn't. And then you thought he had him again, and then you didn't, right? You told us that his dad turned him in when it turns out that wasn't true at all. It was a family friend that did it. So you are the reason. You are the reason why there's so many conspiracy theories, not the internet. And let me make this clear, because you're going to keep hearing this from the government, the FBI, the judge, the governor, is that these YouTubers spreading conspiracies are going to ruin the case for the prosecution. That's not how the fucking system works. The prosecution either has the evidence to back up their claims and prosecute Tyler Robinson, or they don't. The only thing that YouTubers talking about this harms the prosecution for is if you don't have any evidence to back it up, then it's a big problem for you. And that seems to be what's really going on and why you're so panicked, Kash.
Of his alleged assassin, who we have in custody, and rightly so, in my opinion. And if anyone helped him, do you think that we at this FBI are literally going to let them get away with it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that is what people think.
That's why you're doing this interview. That's why he's doing the interview. Because, yes, there are many people who think that you just might do that if you're not kept in check and if people don't watch with a telescope.
You know, like, I don't know, the Epstein client list that you have, that you are just letting all of those people get away with crimes. Kind of like that. Yeah, that's why nobody trusts you, bud.
With a microscope. Microscope is the better one. Yes, they think you might do that. The trust has eroded.
With it, us standing silent in the face of growing conspiracy theories, that's what we do to shut down a faulty prosecution. That's what we do to shut down a system of justice that wants to be exploited by these same anarchists. And that's what they're doing.
Wow. So there you go. We're anarchists, guys. Me, retired Green Beret, served the nation, 10 years in Army Special Forces, went and fought the wars. I'm an anarchist because your story about a 30-06 not blowing Charlie Kirk's head off doesn't make sense. So, yeah, like Gary over at Paramount Tactical, another anarchist. Ian Carroll, anarchist. Candace Owens, anarchist. Jesse with Fire, anarchist. We're all just bad faith actor anarchists. Yeah, for sure, man. Why don't we compare resumes and see who's served this country more, Kash? How about that? Before you call people like me an anarchist.
Yep.
They're bringing it to social media. They're bringing it online for clickbait, and we're not going to take it. We don't care what you say about me or Dan Bongino or anyone in leadership at the FBI.
Yes, you do. You're a fragile, insecure man. That's exactly why you're doing this interview. Just be honest, man. You're a tiny little insecure man that's upset that people like me are calling you out for being horrible at your job, which you objectively are. And if you need some reminders of why nobody in America trusts you and everybody thinks you're horrible at your job, let's take a little trip down memory lane. Remember when you just said this the other day?
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
There you go. Kash Patel, right there, said Jeffrey Epstein never trafficked any women to anyone. Yeah, man. Oh, but what about this one?
Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Quick reminder, you're not a warrior. Okay? That's offensive to those of us who went and fought wars. So don't say that ever again. You're embarrassing. But also, what about this one?
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
So yeah, buddy, spare us with the conspiracy theory talk. But there's not only that, also, you had the Utah governor saying the same thing. People need to just stop listening. Don't listen to anyone but us.
He had to appeal to us. And now that he's on the other side of things, now all of a sudden he's attacking us. Now we're doing too much. But it's not just him saying that. It's also Mr. Spencer Cox. Listen to this.
This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community.
Turn it off. Turn it all off. Just before you see anything, before you see another video, before you realize that a 30-06 couldn't do that type, does far more damage than what you saw. Before you start to see people who are ex-Green Berets show you trajectory and how the C2 doesn't make sense for it to get hit at this, before you see that, before you see Candace, before you see anything, please turn it off, touch grass. Using that Gen Z talk of touch grass, thinking that you're going to trick people. Buddy, I don't care what side it is. I see it when it's happening. I see it when it's happening, and I'm going to call it out. 1,000,000%. I might be conservative, I might be Christian, but I'm not blind to my side when things are going on. And these guys are doing something very, very devious right now.
Now, why would the government try to tell you to shut your mouth? Why would the government call independent media sources anarchists, conspiracy theorists, bad faith actors? Feels very communist China, doesn't it? Because I thought we were in America. I thought we had the First Amendment. We were just all allowed to share our opinions, whether they were right or wrong. And if the real information is presented in front of you, that is what you'll go with. And that's what the prosecution should have to do, I think. But even the judge now has put out some bizarre statements that he's putting a gag order on all Americans, I guess, for their ability to talk about this case, which is not a thing. And I'll show you that in here in a minute. But let's look at this. All right, so you may have seen this, but yes, breaking. The scope of the Tyler Robinson case gag order is unprecedented in Utah history. Over 3,000 witnesses, associates of the case, attorneys, family members, and even the press are subject to the order, threatened with potential contempt of court charges and jail time for speaking about the case. What country is this? You're gonna give the press jail time if they talk about a court case? And not only that, we're talking about an American who was assassinated on live TV, and now Americans aren't allowed to question it or talk about it. Are you sure that's even legal? Oh, wait, it's not. Let's look. Yes, right here, Utah's own constitutional Article 1, Section 23 prohibits the state from granting any franchise, privilege, or immunity in an irrevocable manner. This means that laws cannot be passed that give permanent and unchangeable rights or privileges to individuals or corporations maintaining the state's ability to alter or revoke such grants in the future, which means a judge has no privilege to prevent parties from communicating, which is granted by the First Amendment. So the only thing you'll be gagging is on our collective YouTube dicks. And people might think, oh, this is no big deal. Well, for the FBI director to be talking like this, yes, it is, because this is a gradual movement towards censorship. You even had Tucker Carlson talking about how the Trump administration better not use the Charlie Kirk assassination to bring in censorship, which they obviously want to. And we already see it happening in the UK, right? There's people being arrested for things they say on social media, being critical of, the government or the immigration policies. You can go to jail for that.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are pushing digital ID on these people. Mm-hmm. And once they do digital ID, they're going to attach it to a social credit score. Yep. They're going to attach it to a carbon footprint score. And then they'll be able to control your movement and control you entirely. And most importantly, they've already arrested 12,000 people for social media posts.
That's insane.
Above and beyond every other country. Way above Russia. Russia was like 400 last year. The UK is 12,000. Any criticism of immigration, any criticism of grooming gangs and people being raped, any talk about how horrible this is, they come visit you. It's like someone's trying to destroy England.
And that is exactly what we're on the path towards right now. And let's be very clear. It's the current administration and Republican Party that is using this type of rhetoric, that is moving in this direction. Okay? So if you are a Republican or a conservative, you should be furious when you hear Kash Patel say shit like this. Unless you guys want to live in a country like the United Kingdom where you can be arrested at a whim because you said something on social media that the government doesn't like, we're not far away from that. So I'll be clear, just like I'm sure every other YouTuber who's covering this, we're not going to stop. we're still in America. We still have the First Amendment. We still have freedom of speech. We can talk about anything we want to, whether the government likes it or not, for now. And that is what we will continue to do. So we'll see what happens. That's going to do it for this one. Catch you on the next video.